What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's going on with the economic calendar for today, what's going on with the earnings that just came out, what you should be watching for in terms of price action, as the market, in my opinion, is going to base very soon before you get a little bounce just temporarily. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I talk about what could end up panning out for SPY, Tesla, and the other tickers out there, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget about the Weeble link. The offer ends very soon. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you put in $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks. This offer ends in just a couple of days. Check it out before they run out. Anyways, looking at SPY, this thing's on a downtrend, as you guys can see. It's been just continuing to sink and sink and sink since Friday. And we're just barely at 495 right now. I do think this could drop a little bit more. So we're going to be watching this support at 494. But we're going to be looking for a little bounce at the same time. So it's going to base soon. And I think we're going to get a temporary bounce to get back, pushed back up before we come back down again. And then I think that this is going to happen approaching the big data that's coming out. And we'll be watching to see how that affects us, not to mention Nvidia's earnings. So just as a reminder for today, we have some very minor pieces of data in the morning. We're going to start off with the 17-week bill auctions and the 2-year auctions at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we have Bowman from the Fed giving a speech at 1 p.m. Then what's very important at 2 p.m. is the FOMC minutes. This is going to be big, and this is going to cause a very big move in the market. So watch that very carefully at 2 p.m. Now, later on, I just want to call out that when it comes to the way the market is moving, there's currently a 93% chance that the Fed is going to be essentially just keeping rates the same. There's a 6.5% chance they're going to cut. So we'll see if any adjustments are made to this and if the market's even pricing this in. So we'll see what the FOMC minutes bring, but just be prepared for any adjustments. Now, for a couple of things affecting the markets, we're still waiting for big tech earnings. Right now, the market is still heavily dictated by tech, as we're seeing many of the Magnificent Seven big stocks out there just holding up the markets alongside tech for the time being. But Nvidia's earnings, which is coming out, is going to be very important, and we'll be watching to see how this ends up looking. Now, it's still up 40% this year, and this is going to have a big effect on how the entire market moves. So we'll get ready for the big move that's coming. Nvidia's earnings is today after market close. Now, Walgreens Boots Alliance is out and Amazon is in it. This is something very big that was just announced, that Amazon will replace the drugstore retailer in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is not the best of news for them, but it is what it is. This tends to happen, especially after they did its split, and that's what's actually affecting its weight. On top of this, a new sports streaming joint venture from Disney, Fox, and Warner Bros. Is facing its first challenge. Fubo TV filed a lawsuit against the media giants over what's called extreme suppression of competition in the U.S. sports-focused streaming market. So that's something worth noting. Besides that, there's not really anything else that's too crazy coming out. American Airlines is also raising baggage fees, so it's the first time they've done this since 2018, amidst things that are going on right now. So that's just a little bit about the news so far, nothing else too crazy. Let's talk about Nvidia. Nvidia has its earnings today after market close, but in the morning we just got like Wix and Wingstop, which both ended up running after their earnings came out. Let's see what Nvidia does as well later on. For Wix, which came out this morning, they beat on EPS and revenue, and they actually had some pretty decent guidance right over here. It's 61 cents per share, with the revenue increasing to about 403.8 million. Not bad for Wix, and a decent revenue year over year and good projections. That's pretty good news for them. That's why we saw the share price run alongside Wingstop. Wingstop actually saw some unit count increases by 13%. Their sales went up. They beat on EPS. And on top of this, their projections are not looking too bad. They actually have some pretty good projection metrics for the upcoming quarter. So not bad guidance. This is good guidance, good earnings. That's why Wingstop is looking at record sales and record growth. Good for them. Now let's talk about the charts. How are things looking in my opinion? The answer is I do think SPY could drop a little bit more, so we're going to be watching to see this thing base, but then we're going to be looking for a bounce somewhere along the line. So it may attempt to base at 494. That's where we got this bounce last time, even yesterday. Or if it fails to bounce off 494, we could come down to 492 and then attempt to rebound somewhere in the lower 490s, but that's looking a little bit less likely. I think that it's going to base soon. So watch it test maybe 494, maybe a little lower, and then come right back up. And we should be looking for a retest in the 497s a little bit after that. I think we'll get back to our 20 EMA. And I think that we drop a little bit, we rebound temporarily, and then come back down, trade sideways, approaching the FOMC minutes. So that's what I predict is going to likely happen. So watch for price action just like that. Look and see where SPY base is. It is sinking for now, but look and see where we end up bouncing. For Tesla, for example, Tesla's trying to get back above this resistance right here. We can actually expand this just a little bit. I just keep this in line just so that we can see how this affects it. Tesla might actually fall a little bit right here towards this 190 area, but then somewhere between 190 maybe 188, so long as there isn't a new bad piece of news, Tesla should try to base. It might come down a little bit in base and start pushing back up towards 192, then eventually 195. So I'm maybe looking for a little bounce on it temporarily, and then it might reject off 195 and just continue to trade sideways. But look for a little bounce here. There's a nice attempt to bounce right here on Tesla. Also want to call out the 4-hour time frame, where Tesla is showing a little bit of life. It's not entirely there yet. We'll just have to see if we can try to get back above this resistance. But I think that Tesla might come down, grab liquidity, and come back up. It's going to test 190 to 188 and rebound and test 192, if not 195. So watch those levels very, very carefully. There's a very good chance we end up making a move like that, and we just continue to trade sideways, approaching the minutes. On the QQQ, I believe the QQQ could sell off a little bit more. Going to be watching 423.8 and then 422, this range right here. I think we could sink a little bit more. They're going to be looking for a bounce back up to 425, if not 427. But I think we might sink a bit, rebound to 425, then 427, and then come back down and trade sideways. Look for a little drop, a nice bounce that's coming. And then we'll look for some sideways price action approaching the FOMC minutes. I find that to be very probable. Watch resistance at 427, 429 to 430, and then 432. Watch support at 423.8, 422, and then 420 flat. Look for a little drop and bounce, and sideways price action after that. Now, Nvda, in my opinion, looking a little bit weak right now. You guys can see it's trying to base around 680, but with this distributive structure, you guys can see that it's approaching its key support. It is possible that Nvidia drops a little bit more, depending if we could hold 680. We could actually retest 675 or so, then rebound and make our way back up to about 693 to about 700. Reject off that and just trade sideways. So I do see it just trading sideways for the time being. We'll have to see how it does from here. My gut tells me it kind of drops a little bit, pops back up. Gonna be looking for a retest of about 693 to 700, then come back down and just trade sideways. I'm just seeing a lot of sideways price action for Nvidia for the time being. So watch and see how this thing ends up basing. All right, so watch and see if we kind of come down, push up one more time to 693 towards this yellow trend line, and come back down, trade sideways. That's very, very probable. Last but not least, for Aapl, in my opinion, Aapl is, you guys can see it was trying to base at this 180 area. As long as we hold above this, there is going to be some potential for it to just kind of trade sideways and maybe even try to push a little bit. Going to be looking to see if we can actually get back up to 182.8. So I do think Apple's going to try to bounce just a little bit. I think it might retest 181.3 and push up to 182.5. So it might try to bounce just a little bit to at least 182 plus, if not 183.5, then trade sideways after that. This might help SPY bounce a bit. So watch and see SPY base alongside the market. Watch it rebound just temporarily and then trade sideways, approaching the FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what I'm seeing in the markets, guys. Have a great day, and I'll be back in just a couple of hours to talk about the next update. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys very soon. The market to the moon, and peace out.